Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Dustin. How have you all been? It's been a while. I've been working on all of my house, I guess, for the last 5 days. I've had a 5-day weekend for the Memorial Day holiday. And yes, I am still working, which is a great thing. I hope everyone who's being affected by this virus and everything like that is getting through what you can do. And if you're not working, you're at least getting unemployment or something. But either way, I've been working on a bunch of stuff the last couple of days, and I was about to go up and do some stuff on the attic, or at least look at some stuff up in the attic. And I was like, you know what? I should just grab the camera and just shoot some stuff. Just it's been a while. I've done a lot of things the last 5 days, and I think some of it would have been pretty interesting to videotape and make a video about. But it is what it is. So maybe I'll kind of go through some of those things and take you along with me on my journey and see what happens. So just kind of make a video again. It's been such a while and I really miss it, but life's been weird. But anyway, let's go do some things. One thing that I did yesterday that I'm actually the reason I'm going up into the attic is I put up this work light. I already have one here, and then I have another one, different style right there, because this garage was terribly dark when I bought this house. So I put up this yesterday, but as you can tell, I have it powered off of, there's a plug up there that runs the garage door opener, and I have a little splitter, and then it runs over an extension cord down to here, and then that extension cord plugs into the toolbox because there's a outlet in that, and then I have a small short extension cord because this light's plug doesn't reach plugged into there. So there's a bunch of extension cords, which is not safe. I don't like doing that. I don't want to do that. What I would like to do is basically jumper off of that outlet, pigtail off of that outlet, and run it up in the attic over to somewhere over here and have another one up in the attic, and then potentially come out and actually have one on the wall, because this whole garage, there's a water pump over there because of well water. I have well water here. There's an outlet over there that's hooked up to that circuit, and then there's one outlet right there. And that's the only outlets that are in this garage. Well, in the one that's up there, but every garage I've ever been in, there's been like 2 outlets on every wall. There's not here, and it's always been annoying me. Another thing I did was I got a new air compressor, because this is my little air compressor that I got, probably, nice. So yeah, well pump, as you can tell. Now that I'm not rudely interrupted, got a new compressor. I was using this one. I got this one, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago. It's been a while. Like the first couple months I was working at Lowe's. It's just this little Porter cable pancake compressor. And it was a great compressor for the last however long I've had it. I got it for $15. They were going to throw it away. Someone had returned it because it was broken, not working. And they couldn't get the RTM process done, so they were just going to throw it in the garbage. So I went and looked at it and found that all it was one of the power wires going to the motor had become disconnected. So I reconnected it, plugged in, and it worked. So I was like, hey, I'll take it. And they're like, okay, sure, $15. And yeah, I've had this compressor ever since, and it's been great. But I've been doing some stuff on the back porch that I required a brad nailer, and I was using this. And through the process of kind of doing 7 things at once, I swung my foot around and kicked the quick connect fitting that was right here and sheared it straight off. So there's a part of a brass fitting in here, and I can't quite get that out. So basically the compressor's at the moment screwed. I might take it apart and use the parts for it, use this tank as just like an air tank or something like that. But either way, I needed to finish the job, so I went out and bought this, which is a Cobalt 20-gallon air compressor. It is way better than this little one. It's not, the best compressor in the world. I mean, I would love to pay for one of those big, gigantic 60-gallon ones, but, that's a lot of money. So this one works fine, and it's been working, and I'm really happy about it. So before I had this one, I just got this set up, was it sometime last weekend, I think, and I had this compressor hooked up to it, and it was sitting over there, but now I just plugged this in, and this is just a reel, hose reel from Harbor Freight, $20, greatest thing I've ever bought from there. And then of course it's got a little jumper going over to the compressor. It keeps it all pressurized. I've had this thing on, or off, I guess, for the last 2 or 3 days now, and it hasn't moved at all pressure-wise. That other compressor, even with all the fittings and everything tight, this one kind of leaked over time. So after a day or so, it would run out of pressure, even if it was full before. So now I have this thing on a reel. I got a 100-foot reel. I got my air hooked up to it right now, the air blower, but I also have the tire fittings and everything like that. I have a whole little bin. So one thing I don't like about this is it's a little loose. So if there's any sort of weight on it, it falls, but I'll fix one of that. I'll fix that one day. I might figure out a way to make it a little more tensioned or something. I don't know. Either way. So yes, if you're wondering, new laser cutter. I'm going to make a separate video about that. But yes, I do have a new laser cutter. I have the K40 technically. And by technically, I mean it's down there and it's just the frame, and all the individual parts are in parts bins now in my room. So I took the K40 apart, and this one I got about, I would say maybe a month ago, a little less than a month ago. And I am so glad I bought it. It is considerably better. It's expensive, but it's way better than the K40 ever was, and better for my application. I've been doing a lot of custom stuff for it recently, and making orders for people and laser engraved stuff, and it's awesome, making me money, and I'm happy about that. Earlier this year, I got this toolbox, which is a big 52-inch Craftsman, all that good stuff. Craftsman haters, I don't care. Yeah, I would love to have a big-ass Snap-on toolbox, or even the ones from Harbor Freight are pretty good, but this was a good deal. I got a good deal on it, and all that good stuff. And it's perfect for me. I still have room in all the drawers, or most of the drawers anyway, so I love it. And that is the reason I put this light here, is so I have more light, and I need to clean all this off. This is basically just what I've been doing over the last 5 days, is just kind of trying to reorganize things. And this garage was an absolute mess with zero room about a month ago. Like down here, there was no room. There was tables in here with stuff stacked all the way up on them. And then over here, it was that big of a slot, like a foot wide that you can walk through, and you couldn't access anything. And so I've been out every time that have some free time. I've been clearing and moving and throwing away stuff and reorganizing, and it's been pretty great. So yeah, I got the Fortis CNC over here. I actually have been using it a little bit. Obviously it's got put over here while I'm cleaning everything else, but I'm in the process of using it, which is great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up in the attic, and I'm going to see if I can find that outlet box, and then see if it's realistic to be able to run a little bit of wire over to here, and then make another outlet up in the ceiling, and then potentially something down into the, not into the wall, but along the wall. I'll use conduit and all that good stuff, but I'm going to go up in the attic. I do live in Florida, as most of you know, and Florida in May is one of the 11 months in the year that it's hot. Luckily for me, it's been pretty cloudy and overcast and rainy the last couple days, so it's actually not been too hot up in here in the attic. It's definitely hot. It's definitely warm. You don't want to stay up here all the time, but it's it could be worse. Now you can see I changed the settings for my ISO, which I normally have in auto, to get up here, because I have the roof line like right here, right at the entrance of this. So this is like, what you're seeing is like a 1.5 foot off of the freaking ladder. So I have to get up here with 3 hands and 2 supports and all sorts of nonsense. So I'm going to put this down for a second without killing myself. Let's see if I can get up in here. So I'm going to look at, as you can tell, there's a few boards up here to put stuff in, but the rest of the attic does not have any sort of boards or storage, which is something I want to do. I want to get some storage and all that good stuff at some point, but right now it's not really realistic, but it will one day. I should have grabbed my headlamp. That would have made it easier to see shit. Please hold. Alright, I magically teleported my headlamp up here, and now I can see what the heck I'm doing. So, anyway, over here should be the outlet and everything for the garage door opener. I just want to see what the hell it looks like. You know, what kind of things I have. And of course I'm walking around up here just on boards and stuff, hoping they don't break. So, what does this look like? It's a regular box, alright. The previous owner, I think, or, you know, at least someone who owned this house before, did a lot of really janky ass wiring and stuff all around. So, there's a lot of ridiculous things going on in this house, wiring wise. So, but my idea is to jumper a wire off of this box over to there, right along that seam right in the middle. And I should be able to drop it down from there, have an outlet that can support the stuff I want to do. I don't have any Romex or any project boxes or anything at the moment, so I'm unable to go do that right now, but now I at least know it's possible. Which I figured it was anyway, but now I know, and that's a good thing. So I'm going to get down from this hot-ass death trap of a room, and I'll see you on the bottom. Man, I was only up there for like a minute and a half, and I'm already sweating like crazy. It's hot as balls up there. It doesn't help that it's not super hot today. The sun's out a little bit, but it's, you know, not really the hottest day in the world, but it's just humid as hell. It's been raining on and off, so it's humid up there, and humidity just kind of sucks. So one cool thing that I did is convert these two toolbox bottoms to tool stands. At least cheap temporary ones, I guess, but this is a toolbox that I've had forever, my whole childhood basically. There's a top two that I gave to a friend, and then this one I got from a friend. It's an old Montgomery Ward toolbox. It predates me by quite a few years. It's a lot bigger, heavier duty, thicker steel, all that good stuff. And so I have my chop saw, or miter saw if you want to be pedantic, on there. And then this one I have my little drill press and my little bandsaw on there, just so it's rolly, and they're all on wheels, so I can roll them around and get them out of the way as I need them. This is not my final resting place for those. They're just there because it was late last night and I needed to get them out of the way so I could shut the garage door, all that good stuff. So it's been pretty fun. These stands are a lot better than having them just sitting on a bench cramped together and then unusable, you know, when they're all right next to each other where they were, or on the floor or under the workbench or something like that. It's a pain in the ass, so it's a little bit better. I just laser cut this, or a guy I work with. He supplied me with these panels. He stained them, all that good stuff. It's supposed to be kind of like a worn kind of look, but it looks pretty good. I did this on a super low power setting, so it really just burned off the paint, but it didn't really burn the wood. I think it looks pretty good. He's probably going to stain it over again, so it'll be very, very light, like you hardly even notice it, but I think it's going to look pretty good. I got a few more to do too, with different logos and things, but that's going to be cool. I just set up this. These are different kinds of wood. I got some like project board, oak, what the hell's that stuff called? Luan, maple, birch, and some excess stuff. So I'm eventually going to get this more of a full setup, and then I can use this as kind of an inventory thing for the laser, which is awesome. I just had it off, but might as well show you the inside of the laser. It's pretty cool. I moved a few things. I added these little spikes to kind of keep the wood up off the bed. That way when I'm laser cutting, you don't get the flashback and everything like that. So it's really necessary to raise the piece off if you're going to be cutting it. If you're engraving it, it doesn't matter, but it also kind of helps to compensate for any waviness in the bed, because this stuff isn't perfectly flat, but you know, it's pretty cool. This controller is awesome, so I can, you know, easily move it. I don't have to have it hooked up to a USB or anything like that to a computer. I do normally have my laptop out here and I send it to the controller, the projects that I'm doing, but I don't have to do that. So like this project I just did, I actually did it on my main computer and then used a USB thumb drive to put it onto here. So it's pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. Goes back home. It's awesome. All right, so I've made a little bit of a progress. I moved the Fortis over onto this table temporarily, just because I wanted that table to be more open. Moving around some stuff. Just kind of going through and cleaning stuff like this. I got the majority of my drills and everything and all the batteries up here. That battery is dying. Poor 12-volt cobalt. The rest of my battery powered stuff are all in the drawers. So something cool I found is I was digging through all my nonsense and found this guy, which is my Harbor Freight Central Pneumatic impact wrench, which I believe I got from my uncle a long while ago. This is one of their really old ones. Yeah, they're one of their really old ones from back in the day, I guess. And I've had this for a while and I've never been able to use it because my old compressor, that one, was never even remotely powerful enough to do it with any sort of torque. Like, it would spin over and all that, but you could hold the socket and it wouldn't, shake it out of your hand basically. But I hooked it up to the big compressor and went over to my dad's truck and took a lug nut off like no problem. So I was like, cool, I can actually use this if I ever need to, which is awesome. It's not like I really need it because I do have this guy, one of these big Cobalt 24-volt impact wrenches. This thing is insane. This thing can do like, I don't remember what it's rated for, like 300 foot-pounds or something like that of torque. So I've never had a lug nut or something that I haven't been able to get off with that thing. But the Air one is only rated for like 250 foot-pounds. So the battery one is a little more convenient as well because it's battery powered. So, battery powered stuff is great. So needless to say, it's been a fairly productive day. Let me go show you the patio. That's what I've been doing the last couple days. So look at that. Side note, that's a shed. I built that sometime a few months ago just because we had all that garage outdoor stuff that was in the garage and it was in the way and I hated it. Take this shovel over to the shed. Might as well show you this too. So I built this a couple months ago. I basically said to myself, how cheap could I possibly build a shed? And this probably isn't the cheapest, but it's one of the cheapest. It's a 10 by 12, I believe, something like that. Yeah, I want to say it's 10 by 12. And yeah, it's a pretty nice little shed. It's got a tin roof. It's nice and strong. It survived at least one hurricane now, so that's pretty good. It's like, you can tell it's put together as cheaply as possible, just screws and 2x4s and siding and everything. But the floor is actually, you can't see it, but it's actually, there we go. It's actually on pallets, plastic pallets, a bunch of them. So the whole floor of the whole thing is actually up off the ground by about 5 inches or so. Plus it's got a bunch of rocks and, it's graded properly and everything underneath there. So, yeah, it's actually pretty nice. There's no leaks whatsoever. I can stand out here and it's pretty good. So for this patio, put up all this wallboard stuff, which isn't really rated for outdoor, but I don't care. If it falls down, I'll put it up again or put up something else. But this used to be exposed rafters. For this covered patio. So, well, technically when we bought the place, it was a bunch of like 2x2 or 2x4 or 4x4 pieces of like sheet plywood, really thin, like 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch plywood. And it was all rotten. The roof on this is a flat roof and there was no shingles or anything. It was just tar paper up there. So this whole area would just leak like crazy. We got that fixed. And with all this, I installed some recessed lighting. There were some weird lights that were in there, but they were old, incandescent, actually. These kind, can lights, whatever the hell they are. The old style recessed lighting. Whereas these are just the ones that just surface mount directly into the panel. I had actually moved them too because they were really close to the fan. There were 2 of them. So I rewired everything and then brought them out to here. These things are awesome. Also put a new fan up. This fan's an actual outdoor rated fan, which is way better. It's actually mounted decently. To top it off, I installed a dimmer switch, which is cool as hell. So now I can turn it on and I can dim it all the way down and I can turn it on bright. And of course it's light out, so you don't really see a difference, but it's pretty cool. Well, I guess it's gonna rain today. That's cool. It's supposed to rain like all next week and a half or 2 weeks or something. But the one thing that we are doing back here is that we're going to basically remodel all this. A lot of the siding on the house, this type of siding, it's like board on board, board and batten siding, and it's rotting in certain places around the perimeter of the house, so we're going to be replacing those. But since this is the same style, what we're thinking about doing is taking all the boards off, putting up this hardy board, and then putting this airstone stuff, which is supposed to be like faux rock brick kind of stuff. So we're going to do that all along here and back here and all this area up to here, and then all this trim around here is going to be painted some color. That, because that's exterior, like not covered, will remain the same. We're going to paint the house too, and that'll be whatever that color ends up being, probably some sort of silver. But yeah, I think it'll look pretty good. Like I was saying, the other thing we're actually doing that I wanted to get to this weekend, early start, but unfortunately because it's been on and off raining all the last 4 days, I haven't been able to, is this board on board siding. There's a lot of places like this. This isn't bad, but there's a lot of places around the house that are rotting considerably more than this, you know, like 6 to 12 inches up the board. Some parts the boards are actually missing. So I got a whole bunch of lumber. I got a whole bunch of lumber right there that I'm letting dry and keeping it covered because it's raining or wants to rain. And we're going to replace all the pieces that need to be replaced, and then we're going to paint the house. Hopefully it looks pretty good. Hopefully. So I guess I should also point out that for some of you who've watched my videos for quite a long time, probably realize that this doesn't look like the same house that I used to be in, and it's not. I'll go into more detail, but basically me and my dad bought a house last year, 2019, and this is it. And geez, the light. It's in the same neighborhood, but it's a better house. It's on a better road. It's a road that I grew up riding my bike on and everything. So I'm actually a homeowner now, which is great. Me and my dad co-own it together. And yeah, it's pretty nice. Being a homeowner is pretty great, is what they tell you. But in reality, it's one of those things that's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. You're so excited that you own a house, and then suddenly your dishwasher breaks, or there's a hole in your roof or something like that, and you're like, oh, I can't just call somebody, I have to actually fix it myself, which is fantastic. I just hold this out more. So yeah, it's pretty fun, but it's been just over a year since we moved in now, and I've been trying to get everything back into. It's raining, or it's about to rain. It's about to thunder. So I'm gonna tidy up everything out here in the garage. Probably go inside. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Today, like I said, was my last day of my long 5-day vacation, so I gotta go back to work tomorrow. And all that good stuff. Back to developing parts. It's gonna be awesome. You like my haircut? I feel like it could be a little bit better, but I cut my own hair now, so I can't. For one, they just now reopened hair barbers and stuff like that, and for two, I don't like spending money on stuff like that, so I think it looks pretty alright. But yeah, I hope any of you guys who have missed my videos or missed me or anything like that are happy to see me, and I hope that you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys are all getting through this nonsense. I hope to be making more videos soon. I have a little bit more free time because of this pandemic. I'm not working I am working full time, but not 5 days a week right now, so it's pretty good to have free time. It sucks to not be making as much money, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, I'll make some more videos, update you on things that have happened for those of you who don't know me personally and don't know what's been going on, and all that good stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and until the next video, I'll see y'all later.